Forgot to throw safety glasses. So laying goes into the wall. That would be my face. That's not a very good face. It's got to point out at one point. Not ideal. So flip it over in this case. This is where I'm going to use the stone busters. And of course, when I demonstrate, it never works quite the way I want it to, but we'll see. Better face, we're getting closer. I'd probably just work that little point off. There we go. I got my face. Fast to work with those. Those are the 4-pound versions. I'm not being fussy. This is not a precise carving job. I'm trying to get the basic shape that I need. When we get into, I do almost like 80% of my shaping with these 2 hammers, I would say. I'm just gonna grab another rock to show something else. With the revet point again, in the chisel wizard, I'm in a position so I'm gonna be sending shards at the wall, hopefully. Sometimes they go straight up. You can get in. Flatten that off. Again, quick. I'm not spending time doing this. Which will eventually work, but eventually is the key word. You'll notice as I'm striking these tools, my swing's coming from here. I can't see the hammer up there. If I was holding a point like this, I would swing from here. The hammer's always in my eyesight. But because I've got the handle on the chisel, my hand's out of the way and I feel pretty comfortable swinging from there. And 10, 100 light taps does not equal 1 hard tap. It does not. It really does not. It will never get there.
No, it doesn't?
It will never get there.
Oh.
That'll carve the surface. It's never going to drive a crack down through the stone. If I'm wailing on this thing, I can eventually get it to split down through the stone. Angle this way, the angle or direction of my swing, all affect how that rock's gonna break, as well as how hard I swing and whether I hit correctly, where I'm aiming. If you set that on the stone, get it to the angle that you want, and then strike it, you've made your life so much easier. And horizontal vertical blade orientation means that I can just switch hands and have the correct orientation without having to move the rock or my body. And I'll demonstrate those in a minute. If I needed to shape that down to that point, I see a lot of people start by tracing a line. Takes forever. It will work. It'll work. Mostly it'll usually break there. Sometimes very precisely, depending on your setup and your type of stone, it can very precisely break there. It's really time consuming. I like to work fast. There we go. Done. And I have heartache. My version of this hammer, I have an 18-inch handle on. You can shape copes like that so fast out of this thin stuff just by doing that. Cardboard template of the shape I want, pound around the edge, go. You'll notice almost any time you're shaping stone like that, trimming, it undercuts.
Yeah.
Right? It almost always undercuts. So at the end, sometimes it's a flip over and just tap this side back a little bit. And that way, it's a jagged face, but because the point that sticks out farthest isn't right at one edge, it's somewhere in the middle of the stone, it'll look fine by the time they're all stacked up. The other thing with stone like this, with the level bedded stone, if you approach it something like the mason's chipper coming in from the end, you can very often get a decent amount of shaping done. It never really does what I want it to when I'm demonstrating, without getting that undercut. There we go. That worked better. And that way you don't have the undercut. So the techniques that I use are much more about speed and efficiency than a totally refined thing. But by toning down the taps, going to a lighter hammer, you can use the same techniques and be very efficient with it. This hammer that I was just using as a swinging hammer is a hammer point. For the stone that I usually am working with, I don't use one of these much other than as a striking tool. You can swing and wear down high spots like that, or you can hit it with another hammer. I just find they're blunt and they dull quickly and they're not that useful compared to that. I use this all the time. I sharpen it maybe once a year. It stays sharp. Yeah, it's sweet.
And it's carbide?
It's carbide. And it's a different carbide. It's phenomenal. Crown Holden makes a bull point, which is very similar to this in shape and use. The handle's a little bit longer, which I actually like. The carbide doesn't hold up quite as well. It's close, but not quite. So this is just that. If you're working with field stone, you need the point and a set of 4-pound stone busters, and you can do almost everything. Maybe throw that in, and you're good to shape.